The first Russian social forum had gathered several generations of activists, from those who started their activities in the age of perestroika to those youngest ones whose political position was shaped in the recent years during Putin. All of them are just those whom our power is afraid most of all. And the scenario most widely discussed is the one we've just seen in the former Soviet republics of Ukraine and Kyrgyzia. A core feature of the Ukrainian revolution, multiply discussed by participants of a forum, was that streets were taken by people who never ever before took part in any political action. It was a spontaneous will of citizens, which actually turned, just within one autumn week, the whole Ukraine from a deep political province into a young civil state. The demonstration organized by the Russian Social Forum actually didn't compete with that. Political groups and NGOs are yet lacking direct communication with masses, but maybe that's actually the reason why it was so hot in a farm suburb Vykhino, where the sittings of a forum took place. Activists and analysts were there to sharpen theoretical and ideological arguments, to sophisticate approaches to an action, and of course, to found an organizational basis for the further work. The sections at the second day of a forum reflected the full scope of problems our current society is faced to. War in Chechnya and all connected topics, including students' call for arms. Human rights defense in regard to various groups of people, from gastarbeiters to prisoners. A conference on contemporary Marxism. Mainstream press and media activism. A large youth section where debates have been extremely energetic. And between all these serious themes, there was an extremely refreshing appearance of the anarchists, autonomists, who organized one of the mostly attended seminars on street action and DIY techniques. Concerning participants, the forum had finally realized a schema of joining very diverse forces on the common platform against capitalism. One of the oldest orthodox Marxist thinkers had proclaimed that a year ago he could not imagine himself sitting at one table with a human rights defender of liberal views, but now the situation demands to. Therefore, yes, there was a large presence of communists rethinking communism or nostalgizing about it. But again, along with ecologists, human rights defenders and other NGOists, it was well balanced by anarchists intervening large plenary sections with black flags. The other division was between the center and the regions. About a half of this thousand of participants came from periphery, like Francesca. She's the face of a radical communist opposition in the southern city of Krasnodar, where repressions against leftists have ever been especially severe.
And on this Russian Social Forum, we wanted to unite against the Putin's democracy, against their power, which are against the people, against our rights.
We have a large group of participants from Yaroslavl here, so I will not be only one to tell news from here, but for me the most interesting initiative was a proposition on working with national diasporas in order to prevent nationalism and xenophobia. We, an anarchist movement in the name of Petr Alexeyev, have been actively involved in protests against monetarization of privileges in St. Petersburg, and I had good chances to discuss here further actions with people from the other regions. One of the main questions for us is until what time the alliances with liberals are possible. An energetic spirit of the first Russian social forum's 2 days found an adequate expression in the final sitting with its laconic reports and resolutions on thematic sections. A qualitative progress can be seen in creation of second-generation structures like country-wide informational networks and inter-regional cooperation structures. A campaign against the privatization of education was established. A start was given to an anti-military initiative bringing Chechenian question together with initiatives against military service. A section on tactical media reported on a decision to establish a portal Indie Media Moscow instead of a sectarian and completely untactical Indie Media Russia. The social forum unites people of various generations and different approaches in order to make a coming revolution more conscious and effective than its counterparts in Kyrgyzstan and Ukraine.